Alright, Shalom, Shalom. It's your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Baruch Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Baruch Hashem, Okras Vadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, today's lesson we're going to go into This Is Why We Teach Prophecy, Part 2. Alright, so we're going to go focusing into the ICBM, okay, to teach the hopeful elect out there, to show you that these are the Lord's missiles and that it's a major part of prophecy to, also, bring some more weight, Lord willing, to that understanding, to, bring more weight to that, how we do know that we're in that time, okay? Because remember, Nate, not going to go too much on him right now, but just remember how he made that claim that, oh, we don't know, when they're going to be used. We do know, alright, because there's a lot of that spoken about through the scriptures. There's a lot. Okay, and yeah, Lord willing, we're gonna, through the Spirit, we'll keep on going. Get all that meat to show you guys out there. Those who truly believe in the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, and His truth. Remember, because it's His truth, it's His word. All right, that these ICBMs are spoken about all throughout the scriptures. Alright, but we're also going to go into St. Matthew in here to show you about prophecy. So this is why we teach prophecy, because it's not like we just like to use that word and say, oh yeah, we teach prophecy over here. It's not just because we like the word. Okay, what that word is because it's things that are going to come to pass. Okay, pro means before, Hashem means to tell. So the true prophets from Yahweh Shem Shai are going to tell you what's going to happen before it happens. So prophecy, alright, this is how we measure the times. This is how we know that, well, how do you know that we're close? This is what we're going to go into today, and also tie it in with the ICBMs. Okay? Joel chapter 2 verse 1 on down. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion. That's what's happening right now, okay? The prophets are blowing that trumpet, a warning, okay? A message, an alarm saying, hey, repent. Hey, war's coming. Famine's coming. Martial law's coming. Okay, the ICBMs will be shot off soon. Yahweh Shai is coming. And sound an alarm. Yeah, the alarm in my holy mountain. Because holy means separate, okay? Mountain is government, because we're separate from the heathen. Okay, we're separate from the Edomites and the heathen. Okay, all right. The natural Gentiles. Why? Because we received the law, statutes, commandments, not the other nations. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, so the whole world. Okay, it's gonna be. It's the time of judgment, For the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Okay, because it's right here. So we're hastening in the day, because it's coming fast. Okay, we're waiting. A day of darkness and of gloominess. Okay, listen up. A day of darkness and of gloominess. A day of clouds and thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna go to Daniel just to get that precept. We're going to go to Daniel and then Jeremiah just to back this up, because right here it's saying, a great people of the strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So before we continue to the third verse, all right, let's go to Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, because we're entering also, okay, we're entering the worst time that the planet Earth has ever seen. Okay, we're entering the worst time because the Lord is approaching. But before he gets here, we're about to go and see we're about to go through a lot. We're about to see a lot of things. Betrayals. This is why you have many false prophets out there. Okay, it's a time like never before on the planet Earth. Worse than the flood. Okay, worse than 70 AD. You see? Come on, it's not just some light thing. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1, and at that time shall Michael stand up. Alright, because right here, Akim Aqua, okay, and at that time, what time? The time that we're in right now, okay, and it's about to get worse, step by step, okay, alright. So at that time, the time that we're in, Michael shall stand up. Alright, who's Michael? Okay, Michael is the chief archangel of war. Okay, he's third in command. He's right underneath Yahweh Shai. Okay? Alright, so he's gonna stand up for the children of Israel, but the elect. Okay, and not just Michael. There's a lot of angels out here. Okay, there's a lot of angels out here, 24/7. Is what you gotta understand. So this is why when Nate says, that there's gonna these people, these leaders are just gonna blow up everybody. Okay, they're not. Okay, because the elect are covered. Remember, the elect are here and the angels are here. Okay, you can't see the angels, but they're here 24/7. All right, this is something you gotta understand. So this is something that's very, very important, okay? Alright, so the angel shall stand up. Thy great prince will stand for the children of thy people, okay? Remember, for the Israelites, but only for the elect, okay? So why is the angels going to stand up? Meaning what? They're just going to stand up like, oh, hey, there's an angel right there? No, meaning that what does that mean? It means that they're going to intervene. Because they're going to help protect the elect. Because this is the time that we're entering. Okay, because the time that we're entering is so bad that the angels have to intervene. Okay, yeah. Because it's going to be that bad. You've seen that, that these elites are working fast to make the chip, the RFID microchip, which is the MOTB mandatory. Alright, so yeah, the elect are going to need help out here. Lord willing, I'm part of that as well. This is what we give all diligence to make our calling and election sure. You see? Alright. And remember, Proverbs chapter 3, lean not unto thy own understanding. Alright, Nate, don't, this is what a lot of people do. They try, they're going their own way. They're going according to what they think. And that's gonna make people fall off a cliff. All right, it's we're going according to prophecy. Okay, what the Lord is telling us. We're walking with the Lord now, so you can understand. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Because we're entering the worst time the planet Earth has ever experienced. Okay, wars, famine means starvation, people eating each other, cannibalism, okay, people being chipped by the RFID microchip, people being beheaded in a concentration camp, people being, you've seen that there was more American soldiers being shipped out to the Middle East, right? I believe it was by they're going out there by the Straits of Hormuz. It's getting heated up there. but that's excellent because that's what we want to see. Okay, because that means things are in motion. Okay, you know, everything is going according to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's plan. Okay, what did Apostle Har always say? Okay, he always says, keep your eyes towards the Middle East because that's where the battle Armageddon is gonna happen. All right, so it's all everything's the attention's all out there. You see. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book. Okay, so there shall be a time of trouble, which we're entering right now. There's a trouble such as never was, because it's a time that is it's like no other, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. Okay, so we're entering the worst time the planet Earth has ever seen. But even at this time, because there's balance. Okay, it's not just everyone's gonna die. And remember, don't forget what these elites say, because they talk about the AI. They're creating AI, and they're saying, oh, the AI is soon gonna kill everybody off. Yeah, it may kill you retarded heathens. But the elect are here. The elect are covered by the blood of Yahweh Shai. The angels are here. The hopeful elect out there, read Psalms 91. Okay, you're heavily guarded by Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and his angels. Okay, beyond comprehension. It's beyond. Alright, but you're heavily guarded. Alright? And at that time, thy people shall be delivered. See that? So at that time, the time that we're talking about right now, okay, not no 500 years from now, well, no, at the same time, because we're entering a time of troubles, tribulation, judgment, betrayal, but also we're entering a time of miracles, spiritual power, divine intervention. Okay, so it's a very exciting time, because at the same time, you understand that wars are approaching, serious times are approaching. But at that same time, we understand that also deliverance, okay, spiritual power. All right, everyone that shall be found written in the book, okay, the elect. All right, so let's go to Jeremiah. Let's just hit these precepts. Okay. Bear with me. Okay, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 2 on down. Thus speaketh the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, power of Israel, because he's not power of the world, of the heathen, the Edomites. He's only a power of Israel. But right now, he's only dealing with the elect. Okay, in the 2/3, he looks at you like brute beasts, heathens. Alright, saying, write thee all the words that I have spoken unto thee in a book. Because right there, so the words that what? That I have spoken, because these are the Lord's words. Okay, these are the Lord's words. Remember that. Okay, so this is why we teach prophecy, because we're teaching what the Lord is saying. Not what we think over here, it's just GMS. Like it's not about that. Okay, we're in the camp GMS, but that's not that's not the point here. The point is, okay, that we're truly returning back to our heritage. We're calling on the true names, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai. We're returning back to our nationality, our heritage. See? You know, this prophecy, because we're going according to what the Lord's saying. See? You know? For lo, the days come, said the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Shai, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Israel and Judah, plus the northern and the southern kingdom. So the Lord's saying He's going to do it, because He's the one who put us in captivity. Because we went off as a nation, we stopped obeying the law, statutes, commandments. You see, so the Lord's going to be the one to take us out. Said the Lord, Yahweh, I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. Right, because the Lord promised, okay, to Abraham, okay, that He would never forsake His seed. All right, so this is something you gotta remember. The Lord promises this. Yeah, it's a covenant, it's a contract. All right, so you gotta remember, because we got the blessing, we got the birthright. All right, and this is what the our enemies on the left-hand side, they know that, the elite. So this is why they're mad, because they want it. It don't matter how they slice it. They can tell you, you know, they can call us the N-word, they can call us, you know, all these words, but you know, they could say that we're nothing, this and that, but at the end of the day, they know that we got it. Okay, we got the birthright, we got the blessing. Yeah, they may have billions and trillions of dollars and all that, but at the end of the day, they're always gonna hate us. Okay, especially these elites. Why? Because they know. Okay, because they want that birthright back. Too bad. You see? And don't matter what they do out here, you know, they try to, you know, chip everybody, and, you know, it don't matter. Okay, remember, Yahweh Shai, He won. He defeated Satan, and He conquered this world. He conquered this world. You gotta remember that. Okay, it's already done. It's already done. Our enemies are finished. Okay, you gotta remember that. Okay, these Edomites are on the rope. Okay, they're scrambling. Okay, you know, they're in desperation mode. Right, so this is why you have to remember the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay, and these are the words that Yahweh spake concerning Israel. Okay, and concerning Judah, the words that Yahweh spake. See, the Lord, because these are the Lord's words right there. Okay, so this is why, you know, again, we're prophecy. Okay, but this is why, because we're able to see, all right, look, we're close. The Lord said, okay, you know, when this happens, when you see that, okay, you know, when you see these things, we're close. For thus said the Lord, Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, for we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear and not of peace, because that's what's coming right now. This ain't just an Israelite hangout and let's just buy some land and let's just, you know, it's just all just a hangout and just laugh. No, this is it's a message of trembling and of fear. You know, people about to be separated. Okay, heads going to guillotines. People are going to be drafted. Okay, people are going to starve out. You know, real soon during martial law and all that. You know, you gotta remember, because you know how if you guys watch a little bit of news, you know, you've been hearing about, you know, sleeper cells. Okay, there's a lot of sleeper cells here. UN troops, militias. There's a lot of sleeper cells here, you know, and they're gonna be gunning people down on the streets. So that's another thing. Not only is the food supply gonna be cut off, okay, because right now we're in the beginning stages, because we're about to enter hyperinflation. Because before the dollar bill, the FRNs, which is the Federal Reserve Note, it's the American dollar bill. Before that takes a total collapse, because we're already in inflation, but we're about to hit hyperinflation, where we're about to see the cost of everything go bananas. It's gonna just completely go to the top, you know. So this is what we're going to see before that economic collapse. Because remember, these elites, Okay, why is all this happening? Why they, because they want to bring in that mark. Okay, they want to bring in the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. You know, okay, and that's something that we're waiting on too, because as soon as these, remember, the Lord has our enemies in quicksand. The faster they move, the faster they sink. You know, yeah. So go ahead, Trump. Go ahead, Trump. Go ahead, Trump. Go ahead with your bad self. It's full. Full speed. Go for it. Put the pedal to the metal, man. Burn this bitch down. You see? Because it's something that you gotta understand. We understand prophecy. Because you see how the economy's collapsing. Okay, now look at, there's just more war. Okay, it's just more fires. All right, remember, the Lord, nothing's a coincidence. Okay, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai controls everything on this planet. Okay, He controls the left-hand side too. This is why we must understand prophecy. See, Isaiah 33:6, knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of thy times, because we understand why these things are happening. It's not just, oh man, he's just a dumbass, and why would you do something like that? We understand. Okay, this is why we teach prophecy once again, because the Lord telling us, Yahushai, through His prophet Saint Matthew, that remember, the end can't come unless everything must be fulfilled. Okay, remember, the Lord had to go on that cross. Remember, He didn't want to. He prayed to Yahweh 3 times. The Lord didn't even respond. Of course, the Lord was right there with him, but He didn't respond. Why? Because it had to happen. Same thing in the time that we're approaching. Okay, it's not that we just want to see people die and just war happen. It's just that these things must happen in order for us to enter the kingdom. You see? Alright? For thus said the Lord, we have heard a voice of trembling and of fear, and not of peace. Verse 6, ask ye now, and see whether a man does travail with child. Wherefore I do see every man with his hand on his loins, meaning on his side. They just with pain, crying, just don't know, what's going on. Okay, that's just, a man just, crying, his hands like on his waist because he just completely through it. As a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Right, because right now, these scoffers are scoffing, but wait till everything's all said and done. Okay, wait till all these benefits are cut off. Food is no more. Wait till there's no more. Because pretty soon people are not gonna be able to drive these automobiles and all that. Okay, remember, we're in a time also of plague. Okay, the Lord's gonna plague this place. Famine. Great darkness. People are gonna be seeing apparitions out here, demons. Yeah. Leviathan's gonna come out of the ocean, behemoth. Okay, the Lord has a lot of things out here that the earth has never seen. Okay, all right, that you're about to see. Okay, right now, the world is seeing the so-called UFOs. Okay, around the world, those are the chariots of Israel. All right, so remember that. The angels are going to step out those ships real soon. Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 7. At last, for that day is great, so that none is like it, because we're entering a time that's never before. Alright? It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. Jacob represents us, the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, the 12 tribes. We go back to the 12 sons of Jacob. But he shall be saved out of it. Right there, okay? Because in this time that we're entering, okay, it's a time of trouble, but he, meaning the elect, shall be saved out of it. Okay? Because it's twofold. It's not, there's balance. It's not just everyone's gonna die, that's it, And when people say it's the end of the world, the book of Psalms tells us, because the planet Earth is gonna remain forever. Okay, the Lord has spoken it, so that's it. Okay, the Lord said the planet Earth is going to remain, but the end of the world means we're coming to the end of a rulership. Okay, all right, end of the Edomites' kingdom. You see, all right, and the heathens as well, because who's going at it? Okay, who's blowing each other up? Okay, uh, who's blowing each other up? Okay, you know, with missiles and all that. These Edomites and heathens. You know, you see. So the Lord is destroying them before our eyes. They're fighting each other. You know. See. Okay. Joel chapter 2 verse 3. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. Now we're going into the missiles, right? The ICBMs. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden before them. Okay, because it's going to be when these missiles hit their mark, which is America, Israel, and different parts that the Lord wants. Okay, it's going to be total devastation, and behind them a desolate wilderness, right? Yea, and nothing shall escape them. So no one's going to escape that, you know. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses. Okay, so it doesn't mean that these missiles look like horses. It just represents power, because horses represents power. Okay, when you go buy a car, when you go buy a motorcycle or a quad, you know, or a sand rail, whatever those things, okay, you know, you want to know, like, hey, I wonder, let's see how much power it got. So you tell them how much horsepower does it have, because a horse represents power, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Yeah, because you guys ever been to like or seen on TV, for instance, or in a magazine, whatever? You know, horse races, you know how they all line up and they all race. Hey, once they take off, that's it, they're gone. You know, once they go, they're off, you know. Same thing with these missiles, you know, once they're off, you know, they're gone. Okay, but especially because these are the Lord's missiles. Okay? Alright, this is very important. Alright, these are the Lord's missiles, and the Lord controls it. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people shall be, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain, all faces shall gather blackness. Okay, so when people hear that, which is very soon, that this is not a drill, seek shelter immediately, that ICBMs are on their way over here to America and Israel. Remember that people are gonna be like, that's it, you know? Yeah. Okay, and North Korea already told Iran, hey, all you gotta do is just ask us, and we'll supply you with an ICBM, and one will be enough to completely obliterate and destroy Israel. Okay, to let you know, remember, right now, who is living in our land? Okay, those tiny tots, the small hats. Okay, you got Ishmael there too. Okay, you got Edom there, and you got Ishmael there. Okay, Edom's a so-called white man on the tiny top. Okay, and they had a little, round little hat on their head. Okay, that looks like a calzone. Okay, and you also got Ishmael. Okay, the Arabs. Okay. All right. So when people hear that, you know that those missiles are on the way. This is not a drill. You know, that's it. You know, they shall. Verse 7, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. Yeah, because they're going to, they're going to reach their target, okay? Example, okay, perfect. You see, remember over there in Israel, they had the Iron Dome. Okay, they think that, oh yeah, we're protected, over there. There's a lot of people that go over there and travel. And I've heard stories, I know people in the world that have went to Israel, and they were kind of worried because like, oh, there's war going on right now, and they told them, oh yeah, don't worry, you're in the safest place in the world because they have the Iron Dome. That don't mean nothing. Okay, remember, those people are not the people over there. They're in a lot of trouble. Okay, Iran's old missiles. Okay, Iran's not even bringing out their good shit yet, and they're already penetrating that dome. So you imagine when it's actually time, to use the good shit. Excuse my Italian. They're done. Okay, look at how much they got hit. Okay, another example. Where's Yahweh Bashim Yahushai standing up to protect them? Where's Michael the Archangel? See? Who are they crying to? America. Okay, because remember, these elites, okay, they worship Satan and Baphomet. Don't forget that. Okay? Alright? Very, very important. So these missiles are going to hit their mark. Okay? Whether there's a gold dome, an iron dome, don't matter. Okay? This is the will of the Lord. And they shall march everyone on his own ways, and they shall not break their ranks, because they're not going to break down, they're not going to malfunction, because when the main missiles go off, the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to be in those missiles, and also the angels are going to be with those missiles guiding them to make sure that they go to their mark. This is why right now the Lord has our enemies, these militaries around the world, all they're doing is spending money on their nuclear arsenal. Okay, this is why they're constantly testing them. Okay, because they don't even know why they think that, oh yeah, those are just ours and we're getting them ready. That's the Lord and the angels. Okay, making sure that they have Yahweh's missiles on point when it's time. See that? Yeah. Neither shall one thrust another, because they're not going to bump into each other. It's going to be perfection. Okay, remember, the Lord's a perfectionist. So they know like mistake and no, it's going to happen and it's going to be perfect. Okay, it's the Lord's. These are the Lord's missiles, so you already know. Okay? They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Verse 9. Joel chapter 2 verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The windows like a thief. Yeah, because it's going to be unexpected. Okay, because a lot of people out here are on La La Land. Okay, just all into sports and all this bullcrap. Okay, especially those who are not paying attention out there. Yeah, So when these missiles come in, people are like, oh, what? Because they didn't believe in the prophecy. Hey, they're not even paying attention. They're just trying to take the bag and just get that Ferrari, and chase tail. You know what I'm saying? Verse 10. The earth shall quake before them. Okay? Yeah, because the whole earth is going to shake. Okay? Remember, the Lord is going to have these militaries empty the clip. Right? They're not just going to shoot one or two. They're going to shoot all of them. They're going to empty the clip. The Lord's not playing. Remember, we're entering the second Exodus, because the elect are going to get out of here on those chariots of Israel, the so-called UFOs. Okay, but also we're entering the second death. Okay, so that's very important. Remember, the second death. So the second death is of ICBM. Alright, so it's a major part of prophecy. Okay? Because how the Lord destroyed the people on the planet before by water. Okay, but remember in the time of Noah, this time the Lord's going to use nuclear fire. So yeah, we do know. Okay? This is major, man. What are you talking about, Nate? No, this is major. This is big time. Thing, The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Right? Because we're not going to be able to see. We're not going to be able to see the stars, the moon, and the sun. Because there's going to be so much smoke from those missiles. Joel chapter 2 verse 11. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army. There it is. Okay? Check this out. Joel chapter 2 verse 11. So this is the point. Okay, so this is two major things right here. Okay? And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, because the ICBMs are his. Okay? So that lets you know that these are the Lord's missiles. And we do know when they're going to be used. Okay? Alright, and this is another cut to let you know that Nate from IUIC, the leader, you are not a prophet of Yahweh, because this is major. Yeah, you know, that shows you right there, because if you're a prophet of the Lord, then, you know, you would know this. You know, you're not even teaching his name. Hey, and I heard you, Nate. You know, you're still teaching that Jesus Christ bullcrap. You know, man, it's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. But that's all right. You know. But one thing is for certain is that you, Nate, are a false prophet completely. You know, ain't no what or if. You know, you sold out. You know. Yep. For his camp is very great, because there's a lot of missiles out there. Iran has a whole underground city of missiles. Who knows what Russia got? You know? See? Oh yeah. So there's a lot of missiles out there. For he is strong that executeth his word. There it is. Okay, because the Lord is very strong, and he's going to execute his word. Not the purple and gold. Not Genesis. Okay? Because a lot of you congregations out there are acting stupid and silly. Okay, this is the Lord. It's his word. Huh? See? For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Alright? Yeah. You know? Because no one could escape it. You know? Verse 12. Therefore also now, said the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh. So this is how we're supposed to be. Okay? Turn ye even to me. So we're supposed to turn to the Lord, not to the American government, not to these leaders, not to the New World Order, not to Satan, to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh, not to a 501c3 charter. Okay, not just, oh, I'm just going to get the bag and get money. No. Okay? Turn to me with all your heart, meaning all your mind, with fasting and with weeping and with mourning. Okay, so this is how we're supposed to be. Okay? Hoping that the Lord will save us. Okay? Not just, oh, hey, do you believe Jesus Christ? Like the Catholic Christian said. Oh, no, alright, that's it. You made it. No, it ain't that it. Okay? This is why we're supposed to be like that, in that state. Okay? Meaning that no one's supposed to be proud and puffed up. Alright then. So that also lets us know how we're supposed to walk in this thing and be in this thing. Not just be all, you know, sad and down and out. But you know, you gotta be correct. You know, you gotta be truthful and sincere in this thing. 2 Esdras chapter 9 verse 1 on down. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Listen up. This is very important, you guys. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before. So this is how we know that we're close to the Lord's arrival, to these elites making that chip, the RFID chip mandatory. Okay, World War III is, you know, it's the beginning stages, but it's about to get heated up. Okay, all right. So this is how we know, because by prophecy. Because so by prophecy, you know, we're seeing, okay, look, this is happening. All right, you know, they're attacking Iran. Remember, the elites attacking Iran. That's scriptural. Okay, that's in the scriptures. Okay, it's very, very important. All right, nothing is just happened. Okay, it's all by the scriptures. So by seeing what is happening, okay, this is how we're measuring the time. Okay, we're not getting a tape measure out. Hey, get the tape measure out. Let's see, let's see where we're at, No. Okay, we're measuring it by seeing the signs. Okay, the blood moon. Remember Saint Luke? Okay, in Saint Luke, men's heart failing them for fear. Okay, there's signs in the sun and moon, the blood moon, because the blood moon indicates that Yahweh Shai is close. Okay, so we're seeing all these things happening, the wars. Okay, look at families right now. Families are divided, fighting against one another. Okay, people shall be lovers of their own selves. Look at everybody taking selfies. These people are full of shit. Okay, people are lovers of themselves. yeah, yep, that's all in scripture. Okay, so this is a time that's happening right now. People are disrespectful to their parents. They don't give a damn. It's just it's a time that we're entering. All right, let's go. Verse 2 on down. Then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest Yahweh will begin to visit the world which He made. Okay, because the Lord made this place. Yahweh gave the instructions, the blueprint to Yahweh Shai, the angels, and the 144,000. Okay, not no big things there. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars in the people of the world, isn't that what we're seeing right now? Nothing but uproars, people, come up against their government. Now people say, hey man, Trump's full of shit. Okay, we're in that time. Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. It has all been written down. Okay, see? So there ain't going to be no changes and, well, what if this happens? Nah. Okay? This is the Lord's program. This is the Lord's creation. For like as all that is made in the world had the beginning and the end is manifest. Yeah, because Esau, the Edomites, you're finished. You're done? You're done. Right now Esau, the so-called white man, he's on the ropes. He's scrambling. It don't matter. Sometimes, they have their, they're full of pride and they smile. Remember, they're going to be in chains real soon. Okay? Real soon. No matter what they say. All right. Just remember that. Still to this day, they can't, they still haven't been able to shoot down a chariot of Israel. Yep, so they can talk all they want, but what can they do? What you going to do there, boy? Yeah, you can talk all you want. But your hands are too, your arms are too small to box with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Remember, Yahweh Shai tells us in Revelation chapter 18, the Lord's going to destroy enemies in 1 hour. 1 hour. Even so, only with thy eyes. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonder, and powerful works, and endings, and effects, and signs. Okay? And everyone that shall be saved. So, wait a minute. It's not just, the end of the world, we're all going to die, and AI is going to kill all of us, and Nate's saying they're just going to blow up everybody. No. Okay? Everyone that shall be saved, the elect. Because not everyone's going to die. Okay? Also, there's going to be a few selected heathen, okay, and top elites that the Lord is going to preserve. Because they're going to be the first crops into slavery. You see? Okay? Yeah. And shall be able to escape by His works and by faith. Because this is what because you got to show it. Okay? You got to show that you believe to the Lord. Okay? Are you praying? Are you fasting? Are you watching videos? Are you studying? Are you reading? Are you doing anything? Are you even asking? Are you even telling the Lord that you're sorry for your sins? Are you even trying to do anything? See? Whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, because the elect are going to be protected from all that. All this coming down the pipe. We're still, the hopeful elect are still going to go through it, but they're going to be protected. And shall see my salvation in my land. Perfect, what's a perfect example? Right there at the time of Moses. Okay, remember how the Israelites, they were right there with the Egyptians. Okay, but the Egyptians were getting tore up from the floor up. Okay, what happened to the Israelites? They were totally fine, but they were there. Okay, remember when the locusts came? Okay, the darkness. So that's exactly how it's going to be again. Okay, because we're going to Lord willing, I'm part of the hopeful elect. Okay, the hopeful elect is going to be in the, but you're going to be protected from that. Remember the blood on the doorpost? Okay, because we're going to be right there. We're among the 2/3. We're among the heathens and Edomites. Okay, but it's not going to happen to you in your household. Lord willing, to those of you that are part of the hopeful elect, just like the time in Egypt, because we were right there, right next to the Pharaoh, right next to the Egyptians. Okay, but we're fine. See, so same thing, because we're still gonna, go through the midst of it, but the hopeful elect are gonna be okay. And Lord willing, I'm part of that. This is why we give all diligence to make our calling and election sure. You see? Okay, just like that, just like that. Okay. All right. And within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Right. Precept to that is Ephesians. Okay. Ephesians chapter 1. I believe it's the 4th verse. Because the Howbah Shinawasai, all right, he sanctified them, all right, for him from the beginning, because the elect have been predestinated for salvation before the earth was even created. Okay, that's just the way the Lord has it. Okay, the elect are remember, the elect are heavily guarded. Okay, because you are on reserve. Okay, yep, you are predestinated for salvation before the earth was even created. Imagine that. So with that being said, it doesn't matter what anybody got to say. Okay, the elites, the left hand saying, oh yeah, they're gonna stop it. They ain't gonna stop shit. Okay, laugh at these clowns. They ain't got a damn thing to say. Let them be worried. Let them scramble. They're on the ropes, baby. Okay, remember that. So with that being said, it don't matter what anybody says. Well, let's say someone says, well, I don't think that's fair. That's not gonna change nothing. Remember, Romans chapter 3, verse 3. So what if some don't believe? It's not going to change anything. The top elites, the Rothschilds, the elites of America, the elites of the EU, the elites of NATO. It don't matter what none of these clowns say. They can't change a damn thing. See? Verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case. Uh-oh. So here's the flip side. For those of you that don't listen, the 2/3. Okay, Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, because the 1/3 represents the elect, okay, including the 144,000 who are repenting, they are going to be saved. The 2/3 are going to be cut off and die. Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8, okay. 2nd Esdras chapter 2 verse 9. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways. See that? Okay. So who's going to be in a pitiful case? Now it's going to the 2/3. And they that have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell in torment. Right. Okay. Because the 2/3 walk past the camps, they roll their eyes. They're saying, they say, oh, that's not true, because they despite the Lord. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. Okay, the sellouts, because they're receiving benefits, they're receiving things, but they don't know the Lord. Okay, they're selling out to the self-proclaimed white man. And they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. See? Because they don't even consider, they despise it. Well, so what's going to happen to these non-believers, the people that, that talk, that scoff? Right here, the next verse. The same must know it after death by pain. Pain by pain, baby. Alright. Oh, right here. 2nd Esdras chapter 9 verse 13. And therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be punished. So don't worry about the wicked. Why? Because they're out of there. They're finished. That's it. We already know. Because if they don't believe, Yahushua said, they who don't believe are condemned already. So we already know. Okay? And when, okay? But inquire how the righteous shall be saved, because look at all that glory. Okay? That's going to be glorious, It's going to be marvelous. Because the wicked, I mean, hey, they're out of there. Whether they stab each other, whether they shoot each other, whether they nuke each other, whether they run out of food. But however it is, however the Lord has it, they're going to die. Okay? That's why the Lord said, don't worry about it, because we already know that they're not going to make it. They're not going to make it. Just put it like that, okay? But the Lord's saying, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved. Yeah, imagine. Spiritual power being protected by the 144, the house of David, and the angels. Imagine, the miracles that we're about to see. Remember, the men of the Lord are going to be out here like Brightburn, okay, Superman. Real, who the world is. See that? Okay, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved. Who the world is, because this is our planet. Remember that. This is why the elites can't go to the bottom of the ocean. They can't go to certain places, because this is not their planet. This is our planet for the Israelites. Remember that. Okay. The elect are going to inherit the kingdom first, but the 2/3, you're still going to inherit the kingdom. But when the elect procreate, okay, when they bear seed, okay, and have children, the 2/3 are going to come in, a brand new babe. And for whom the world is created, because the world was created for the Israelites, to let you know that we're not all equal. That right there, okay, because this world is for the Israelites. You heathens were created to serve us. Okay, you see? And this is what the elites are trying to do. The elites, since Esau sold his birthright, okay, they're trying to get that back. So what are they trying to do? They're trying to do what the Lord is going to give to the Israelites. Okay, total power and dominion over the other nations. So the Edomites are completely trying to have enslaved people. They're trying to establish their own birthright. It's not going to happen. Okay, and you think you're gonna do that on the Lord's planet? This is the Lord's planet. This is how retarded our enemies are. They're trying to establish, since they lost their birthright by the Lord, hey, they're trying to say, well, we're gonna do it ourselves. Okay, yeah, but you're trying to do it. This is the Lord's planet, so you ain't gonna do it. This is how retarded our enemies are. So they're ready. You can't fight against the Lord, baby. Alright, and then not only that, but they're so stubborn, they're so retarded. They're like, okay, well, since we lost it, we're gonna establish our own birthright. Oh, is that right? Okay, on Earth. This is not your Earth. This is the Lord's planet. It just tells you like how because our enemies are simple. Okay? Yeah, they do got power on the left hand side, but it's not greater than the right hand side. Yeah, they're trying to establish their own birthright on the Lord's planet. Yeah, right, See? This is why the Lord said, be still and know that I am Yahweh. Because our enemies ain't going nowhere. And they're only going to do the things that the Lord needs them to do according to prophecy. So all things could be fulfilled. You see? St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6 on down. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. So now again, we're going, boom. We're back at prophecy, okay? Because this is how we're measuring the times. This is how we know that we're close. Okay? Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Rumors means reports, because isn't that what you're seeing on the news right now? Oh yeah, Iran just attacked Israel again. Boom, boom. Hamas, Gaza. You're seeing all this stuff happen, right? Boom, boom. See that ye be not troubled. See, so we're not supposed to be all worried like the heathen. Okay? Be still. See? For all these things must come to pass. See? But the end is not yet. Huh? So that's it right there. That's the point. Because it's not just like, yeah, oh yeah, we just want to see us Hebrew Israelites. We just want to see people dying. Nah, okay, you guys are just haters. No, we understand prophecy, but yeah, we hate evil. That's right. Because how can you be okay with somebody ruling over you that's a pedophile, that's that's over here torturing children and stuff like that, eating them, raping them, and that's real talk. See, these leaders are a bunch of flamers. They're a bunch of flamers. They're a bunch of flamers. What does that mean? That means that they like their own kind. If you can understand, yeah, true cave dwellers, yeah, with a suit on. Imagine. Matthew 24 verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation. So this is what we're seeing right now, okay? And kingdom against kingdom. This is not what we're seeing right now. All right, hey, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Because you're even having these other kingdoms saying, hey, we'll back each other up. You go ahead, go in. All you gotta do is ask us. North Korea told Iran, hey, you want to destroy Israel? Just ask us. One will be enough. So these nations are coming together, for that third world war. And there shall be famine. That's major right there, Akil and Aqua, brothers and sisters. Okay? That means no more food out here. Because you see how they're cutting off the Strait of Hormuz and all that? Okay, all these things are going to trickle effect. Okay? Where we're going to see the price of things will skyrocket to where, because, they're going to have to ration food out because there's only a little bit of supplies left. So they're going to have to charge top dollar for it. But after that, remember, there's going to be no food. Remember that. There's going to be no more, real soon, okay? You're going to see IUIC and all these people in the world of hurt. Because there ain't going to be no more internet, no more food out here. Okay? People are going to be through out here in a real way. Okay? Because they can cry to their daddy Esau all they want. Okay? Remember. Okay? Remember that these sellouts, yeah, they need to be collecting a check right now, but it's all about to be shut down. Because the Lord's going to shut this down. Alright? Yep. And pestilence, that's what's coming, okay? Disease X, bird flu, a strain, another variant. There's a lot coming down the pipe. People will turn into zombies. Okay? Yeah. That's, hey, real talk. Okay? Yeah? The Lord, remember, the Lord has a lot of things happening on here, okay? Where He's going to have these things happen from the left-hand side, where they're going to push these diseases, or the Lord's going to bring things Himself, But either way, the Lord's in control, you see? There, and earthquakes in diverse places. That means that places where they're not going to normally have them. Okay, over here in California, you have like the West Coast, you have the San Andreas Fault. Okay, everyone's been saying the big one, you got Yellowstone, you got volcanoes. There's a lot that's going to happen out here. All these are the beginning of sorrow. So it's just the beginning, and this is what we're seeing right now. Okay, because we're not out of the woods yet. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. Okay, so have the prophets right now been delivered up to these leaders, and have some of them been beheaded? No. Okay, some of the prophets have passed on, but the Lord just took them back. But have we been delivered up to these leaders? That's going to happen. Betrayal. Just remember what happened to Yahushua. Okay, our enemy is literally going to, not all of them, only a few, because we already went through all that. But there is going to be a few martyrs. Betrayals. Yeah. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you. You see? Okay, and shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake, because it's the Lord's name. Okay, it's very important. This is why when these agents infiltrate these churches and Israelite congregations, the first thing they do is have them take out that name, because there's power in that name. Remember, because Satan lost. Point blank period. There's power in that name. There's power in that name. Yeah, because they can't beat the Lord. They can hate. They can talk shit all they want, but what can you do? Exactly. You know. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another. That's the time that we're entering. And shall hate one another. So get ready for that. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. That means deceive means tricking you into believing a lie. And because iniquity shall abound, that means sins, okay, wickedness, the love of many shall wax cold, right? Because people are like, fuck that. What are the majority of our women saying? We don't need a man. Fuck it. The majority of Israelite women out there, they want to see the Israelite man dead. Okay, they're saying that we don't need a man. See, because what they got, they're we run our own shit over here. See, because like, all right, well, fuck it, So I mean, without the man, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even exist without your father. Just because a few, because I understand there is, there are evil men out there, but there's also good men. Just because a lot of our women had messed with what a few wicked men. Now they're like, fuck all men. What? Just because you had 2 or 3 bad experiences, What? Just fuck everybody else, But that's how a lot of people are. A lot of people right now are saying, yeah, forget my dad, forget my mom, yeah, forget my cousins. That's what a lot of people are saying right now. I'm just gonna do me. A lot of people are doing that right now. They're not really getting together like they used to, like families and stuff. Yeah, that's the love of many shall wax cold, because we're in that time. Because people are like, oh, whatever, I got my Wi-Fi, I got my, I'm cool, I don't need no one, see? But he that shall endure unto the end, that's the point, okay? In Matthew chapter 24, verse 13, but he that shall endure unto the end, right? Because we gotta be soldiers to this thing, because we have to endure unto the end. Because it ain't just, we're a Hebrew Israelite, hey, alright, hey, we got it, hey, we're good, hey, we're good. Shit, fuck that, hey, we're good. No, we're not good, okay? We have to endure until the end, because there's a lot that's, we still gotta endure. There's a lot that we still gotta go through. It's gonna get way heavier. Way heavier. The same shall be saved. See? So that's the type of mindset we're supposed to be in. We gotta endure until the Lord gets here. Remember that. Remember in the beginning of the chapter, when we shall see all these things happening, what is clearly happening right now. The Lord is saying to his prophet, St. Matthew, what? This is just the beginning of sorrows. Bad times. Sorrows. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning, baby. Okay? The Lord hasn't got warmed up yet. And this gospel, verse 14, here's the point. Okay. This is it right here. Alright? St. Matthew chapter 24, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. So this is how we know that we're close. Because the true word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the true doctrine, has been preached. The cat's out the bag. Okay? So this is how we know that we're at the end as well. No, that's it. That's it on today's lesson. Lord willing, you guys are edified. All right, and Lord willing, I'll do a part 3. And because there's a lot more books. Esdras, Revelation. Lord willing, we'll get to that. Okay, so there's a lot of books in the Bible and scriptures, pertaining to this particular prophecy, which is major, which is the ICBM. Okay, and this is how we know that we're close. Okay, measuring the time diligently, how we read in 2nd Esdras chapter 9. Okay, right here, St. Matthew. This is why we teach prophecy. Not that we just like that word. Oh, you guys just like using that P word, prophecy. No. Okay? This is why we teach prophecy, because not only are we teaching the hopeful elect, not only are we warning you, but guiding you. Guiding is important as well. Guiding, steering them the right way, showing them. See? And prophecy is a main way. This is how we're measuring the times, because we're seeing the times, the events, signs, and things happen in the world. And this is why we link them to the prophecies, to the scriptures, to let you know, yup, we're right here, we're close. See? Alright, so with that's it on today's lesson. Stay prayed up, on your feet, soldier. Stay strong out there, Akim, Aqua. We're one day closer, we're almost out of here. You guys know what it is. Just hold it down, keep it real, keep it solid. And trust in the Lord. Shalom.